The Gorgon spoke faintly. The earthquake was just the beginning. The tremors that swallowed the crystals, the light of our world, and the demons crawl to the surface are nothing compared to the flood of darkness that is to come. But hope is not yet lost. 4 souls will be blessed by the light, and the adventure begins. In the remote village of 4 orphans have been raised by Topapa, a village elder. A crystal had fallen into a cave created by the fissures of the earthquake, and the adventuring orphans had wandered in to test their courage. And so begins my newest Let's Play, Final Fantasy III, for the Nintendo Famicom system. Our heroes will once again be named after Marty Mouse House Minion pets. This time, 4 mice. We have Fang and Tupelo. They are both male mice. And then we have 2 female mice, Tangeweenie and Baby Moo. We're going to have to abbreviate Tangeweenie and Baby Moo. But they'll be our adventuring parties. They have a big adventure in front of them, despite being little creatures. As the intro there said, we're going to begin in a cave, and we're going to have to make our way out of this cave. But while doing so, we're going to end up encountering a crystal that will bless us with job systems. This is the first Final Fantasy that has the rotating job system. This system will be further refined and almost perfected in Final Fantasy V. I do that every year for the 4-job fiesta. Well, a lot of those jobs find their roots here. Is everyone okay? This is your fault. Quit arguing and let's try to find our way out of here. So, we get into this battle right here. Right now, our characters are in the job Onion Knight. And all they can do is attack, defend, run away, or use an item. We don't have any items right now. We'll get some items as we open some treasure chests here. So all we basically do is attack. This is basically just your little tutorial dungeon. Those monsters, that was rough. This doesn't seem like a safe place. Nope, there's a lot of monsters crawling around. Like my other Let's Plays, I'll be encountering all the monsters, picking up all the treasure chests. So basically 100% playthrough, as always. I'll be using all the different jobs, even ones that, aren't necessarily very good. Some of the jobs here, because this is the first time using this rotating job system, aren't necessarily balanced. There are definitely jobs that are better than others. But hey, it's the first endeavor in doing this. Now, there were job systems in Final Fantasy 1. But you, once you pick them at the beginning of the playthrough, you couldn't switch them. This one will be able to switch our jobs around based on our capacity points. See, we're getting capacity points every time we do a battle. Those were the points that we used to switch between jobs. Going from a physical job to a physical job, like a fighter to a monk, will cost less capacity points than going from a fighter job to a mage job, like a fighter to a white mage, or vice versa, a white mage to a monk. But you can lower capacity amounts needed to switch as you level your jobs up. Leveling jobs up also has some other advantages. For every 16 job levels you gain +1 to your character's magic multiplier. So that's for like white mages, black mages, red mages. Every 4 job levels adds a 1% to the character's accuracy with their weapon. And the 1 job thief, their steal rate is based on how big the job rate is. So now, leveling your jobs is not as important though as leveling your characters. You'll be noticing that unlike Final Fantasy II, the last game I just played, Final Fantasy III here returns back to the Final Fantasy I route of having experience points gained after battle. So you gain experience points after battle, and when you hit a certain amount of experience points, you gain a level up, just like in Final Fantasy I. However, it kind of has some little aspect of Final Fantasy II in that when you use a different jobs get you different points for what you do based in that job. So a fighter will get more points for fighting than, say, using an item. A magical job will get more points for using magic in a battle than if they chose to fight. So that's a little bit of a throwback to Final Fantasy II, where you get better if you're doing things related to your job. So that basically raises your job levels. And I'll go over what each point systems for each of the jobs as I use them. So right now, like I said, we're all in Onion Kid jobs. Onion Kids, no matter what command they select, they are going to get 4 points toward their jobs. So after every 25 actions they do, they'll gain a job level in as an Onion Knight. So one other thing that is different a little bit. It goes back to the Final Fantasy I battle system, gaining experience to level up. But another improvement it has over the Final Fantasy I battle system and Final Fantasy II battle system is this game now will retarget. So say everybody attacks, you can have everybody attack the same monster, and if that monster is defeated and another character hasn't taken their turn yet, they will default attack another monster that's still on the field. In Final Fantasy 1 and 2, if you if you were set to attack a monster and it was defeated before your attack went off, you would just attack nothing, and your turn would be wasted. So that's a really nice improvement here. Another nice improvement that we'll see a little bit later on is we can now multi-target all our spells. In Final Fantasy 1, you could only spells at level 2 or 3 were able to hit all enemies. In this one, we can get our basic fire spell, lightning spell, and use it to multi-target by pressing the left button on the control pad when we attack an enemy. You can also, if there's multiple groups of enemies, so like, say there was like 2 goblins and 2 of those carbuncles, you can press up or down when using a spell, and it'll only target the group. So if you just want to cast, like, say, fire on the carbuncles, you just let the carbuncle press up, and the fire will hit all the carbuncles. So, yeah, pretty neat innovations there from this game. So, here's our first little boss. He is not that difficult. We should be able to just defeat him by just straight up attacking him. If a character gets, say, around 20 hit points, you can use one of those potions that you picked up from the treasure chest to heal. He can do about 14 damage, so he's not, as long as you start healing around, say around, when you're around 20 hit points, you should be able to withstand his attacks. If you're a little worried though, you can have your character who's hurting guard that turn, which reduces the physical damage that it'll take in battle, and just have another character heal them up. But for the most part, you should be able to just go straight up attack and defeat that land turtle. If you really want to do it really fast, you can use some of those south winds that we found earlier in the tunnel, but we'll save them for later. So now we just talk with the crystal. The crystal glimmered. You 4 have been chosen. The crystal speaks. You shall receive my remaining light and hear my final wish. This light too will soon fade away, and the universe will become unbalanced. With my light, a great power will awaken. You 4 have been chosen to fulfill this wish. You must not let this world be erased. The 4 warriors were engulfed in light. This is going to give us our first few jobs, and they'll be very similar to ones that we had in Final Fantasy I. We're going to get 5 jobs: the fighter job, the monk job, the red mage job, the black mage, and the white mage. Basically all the jobs that you could have started with in Final Fantasy I, except for the thief. And the thief has been really overhauled from the Final Fantasy I version. They can actually steal, and they actually have some use, unlike Final Fantasy I, where the thief was the most useless class. Basically had nothing going for it, and the things that did have going for it were bugged. The whole luck stat based on your critical hit rate and the running ability. So, like I said, we'll be using all the jobs. I'll be pointing out what each job, the points for each job system does. We're going to usually make our composition. We're going to have basically fighters in the front 2 rows, the 2 boys, Fang and Tupelo, and then the back will be the mage characters, Tangeweenie and Baby Moo. Speaking of rows, you can actually have characters like Final Fantasy II, where you have front rows and back rows. Characters in the back rows take less damage, so hearts filled with light, the 4 embark. To oust the darkness and restore light to the world. Restore light and hope to the crystals. So, Might have misread some of that because I was talking and wasn't really staring at the screen as it came up. But we basically got our basic, plot here. We have to save the world from approaching darkness. And this crystal and the other 3 crystals, fire, water, and then earth, are all going to give us different jobs. But for now, we just have the wind crystal jobs. We want to talk with this, well, first we're going to change our jobs. One of the bad things with this is when you change jobs, you have to de-equip everything. So it's kind of annoying, but luckily they have a remove all command when you do the equip section here. So that takes off all your characters' equipment, and then we can change jobs once they're de-equipped. It's not like Final Fantasy V where they automatically de-equip the characters when they change jobs. So we're going to change Baby Moo into our White Mage. White Mage is basically healing support magic caster. Tangeweenie is going to become a Red Wizard, a Red Mage, and they can use low-level black magic, low-level white magic, and can do some fighting as well. Tupelo is going to be a monk, basically a bare-handed warrior. They can also equip nunchucks, but light armor. And Fang is our fighter. Heavy armor, basically our tank in the front of the thing, who can also do good damage. I'll be having our fighters dual wield, because dual wielding is much better in this game than the other games. It actually does double damage, so it allows us to defeat enemies twice as fast. So, best defense is a good offense. Right now, Baby Moo is not going to have any weapons, and neither will Tupelo. But Tupelo's okay without weapons because he's a monk, and monks fight best with for the most part, with bare hands. We will get a nunchuck later, we'll get 2 of them, and we'll use them on Tupelo. But now, before we head on, we want to talk with the crystal here, because when we change jobs, if you went from a non-magic casting job like the Onion Knight to a magic casting job, you don't have MP given to you. MP system is similar to Final Fantasy 1's, where you have different levels of spells and you have different charges based of that spell level based on your level. So we don't have any spells right now, but we will get one pretty soon. So we just want to talk with the crystal first, because that'll refill all our hit points and give Tangeweenie and Baby Moo some magic points. So everybody's in the front row right now. Eventually I will end up moving Baby Moo to the back row once she gets some spells to cast. And also right here we got our last enemy, the blue wisp there we just defeated. There are 4 different enemies in this cave. We have the goblins, carbuncles, the eye fang, the blue wisp, and then of course the first boss. So we want to head back to this cave once we exit it, because we missed the first floor here. And the second floor. Second floor is, I guess, where we started out before the game started. I see like a little campfire here, and there's a hole that'll lead us. When we step in that hole, it'll take us back to where we started the game at, falling down that little hole. So, we're going to get some decent treasure here. A bracer we can put on Baby Moo, because she has not very good hit point growth. Actually, the Red Mage has the worst hit point growth. Got our first spell there, Sleep, Black Magic, because see the circle there is black, so it's black magic, white magic will be white, and then there's like Summon Magic, and that'll be a gray type circle. So, just grab all this treasure here, and then we'll re-equip some of our characters. Fang will get 2 long swords, better than the knives. And we got one of our nunchucks, and we'll just give that to Tupelo. He'll probably do more damage with his bare hands, but we'll end up getting another nunchuck once we get to the first town. So we could turn around here and go back, but I just wanted to show off where this hole leads to. So yeah, we take that hole, we fall back down into this area where we started the game at. So, I cut out some battles there. You'll notice that like the screen went blank for a little bit. I had like a little transition there. That's where I cut out battles. I will be cutting out battles, extra battles, unless I gain a level in those battles, so we can see the level ups that our characters get. But for the most part, like I said, unlike Final Fantasy 2, because this is based on experience points, a lot of times you don't need to see like multiple battles. So expect to see battles cut out. So that'll help make episodes a little bit faster. So we saw Tangeweenie there. Tangeweenie used her sleep spell only on the blue wisps. It wasn't effective, but we'd want our red mage to cast spells when she can, because the red mage gets 12 points for using a magic spell, 8 points for using the fight command, 4 points for using the item command. A white mage gets 12 magic points for 12 job points for using a magic command, and only 4 points for using the fight or the item command. Black mage is similar, 12 job points for using the magic command and 4 for fight and item. And we'll see the warrior and the monk, because they're fighting classes, they gain the most from fighting. So the warrior and monk both gain 12 points for their job when they fight, 8 points for defending, and for using an item. So based on that, you should see Fang and Tupelo will gain their job levels quicker than Tangeweenie and Baby Moo, because they're using actions that give them more job points. Once your character is 100 points in a job, they gain a job level. And like I said earlier at the beginning of the thing, job levels have some minor stat increases for the mages. Every 16 levels will give them +1 to their magic multiplier, and every 4 levels for everybody will give them, that +1% to their hit accuracy. So here we're back at the wind crystal area again. Whenever we see a crystal, we can always talk with it, get some dialogue, and get healed up. So it's kind of like a free in. We'll do what the crystal says, step on this little thing, be teleported out. I'm going to head back to our home village, but we'll do that in our next episode. Take care, thanks for following along, and hopefully you come back for more adventures with our 4 Mice hero. Take care, have a good day. Bye.